أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. Why didn't I say ما عبدتم but I said ما عبدتم? Yes, because this is a different rule entirely. So, and in this case, we don't apply al-qalqala because we are aware of letter dal being part of the letters of qalqala, which is we have kutubu jadin. There are 5 in number. So whenever you come across a letter of qalqala, what you are going to do is the letter will vibrate. For example, you are reciting Suratul Mu'minun, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You are going to say قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, right? قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. قَدْ, right? So that is that for that one. So but in this case, this is a different rule entirely, and the type of rule that we can identify here is what is known as idgham. So we know we have different idgham, and when we say idgham, it simply means to assimilate, right? That is to insert another letter into to insert a vowelless letter into a letter that is having a vowel. When we say a letter is vowelless, it means it is having sakin. It does not have fatha, kasra, nor dhamma, right? It does not move. Do you understand? That is a sakin. Do you understand? So if you now try to insert it in the letter that is having fatha or kasra or dhamma, what you are doing there is what is known as idgham. Do you understand? So we know we have different idgham. We have that of a nun sakina, and we have that of mim sakina. We have that of alamat as-sawakin, right? We have in case of a nun sakina, we have idgham naqis, we have idgham kamil. So we have mim sakina, we have idgham shafawi. If you come across alamat as-sawakin, that is vowelless letter lam, you come across idgham lam shamsiya and other types of idgham. But in this case, this is not that. So this is idghamul mutajanisain. Idghamul mutajanisain. When we say idghamul mutajanisain, is the occurrence of two relative letters adjacent to each, right? Letters are said to be relative if they have same articulation points. They have same articulation points. They are coming out from the same background. They have same origin. They have same state of origin. They have same birth, right? So any of the words that you prefer, you can use it. So they are from the same family, right? They are from the same area. So as you knew, letter dal and letter ta, they are all emanating from a behind your front teeth, right? That is where they are coming out from. So we have dal and ta. So if these two letters, they are adjacent to each other, and one of it has second, and the next one too has second, so that means the second one is going to suppress the first one, right? So in this case, the idgham suppresses al-qalqala. You are not going to say abaditum. That means here is going to be read as abatum, like the dal does not exist, right? So the sound of the dal won't be heard. So you are going to say abatum, not abaditum, right? That is how you are going to read it. If you could remember idgham kamil, that is the same thing that is happening here, right? That is a perfect assimilation in your nun sakina and tanween, right? So you know the nun, you are not going to hear the sound of the nun, right? You say mir rabbi, right? Mir Rabbi, but we have noon there, but we did not hear the sound of the noon. It was only that of a raw, right? So the same thing is applied here. So, but in this case, these are letters. Oh, they are coming from the same area, that is, they have same articulation point, but they differ in some attributes. So we've already knew the attribute, one of the attributes of a letter dal, which is al-qalqala. So whenever it is having sakin, you are going to the letter is going to vibrate, right? So it will vibrate. That is where we have in Suratul Mu'minun, you say qad aflahal mu'minun, qad, or you say la qad. You understand? Qad, the, right? So that is called qala, but we did not apply it here, right? So that is letter dal. It has another attribute, which is what is known as al-jahr. Al-jahr, right? Al-jahr, it means a letter that is a voice. A letter is said to be voice if there is no free passage of hairstream. That is, if you pronounce that letter, you are not going to hear. That is, for example, if I'm to pronounce, if you are reading hadith, or you are reading kitab of fiqh, or you are reading your tawheed, you are not going to apply qalqala in that place, right? So if you have qadi there, you are not going to say qadi, you say qad, right? So that is how you are going to say it. It's different from the Quran. So you cannot be reading your hadith and be saying qadi, right? No qalqala in that place. So you are going to apply what is known as al-jahr, right? So in case of a letter dal, it is having this attribute. So you are going to say when it is having, for example, you have qaf at called dal skun, you say qad, 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 qad. So if you are to listen very closely, very close, you are not going to hear. You are not going to. That is, there is no passage of hair. That is why I just block my mouth with this paper. So I'm going to give you another example that is for an attribute where you see this letter is going to move, this paper is going to move. So for the qaf, for the dal, we've not seen that. Qad, out, because letter qa, it also have this strong attribute, which is al-jahr. Then we have ain, ma, 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 ma. So the hair stream, it starts from your lungs, to the articulation point of the letter that you are targeting to. So that is another attribute for letter dal. And ghain too, it is having this one. Qaf too, it is also having that, right? But for qalqala, we have 5 letters, which is utubujadin, qaf, pa, ba, and then dal and jim, right? So those are the letters. But in case of ta, letter ta, it has an attribute which is opposite to al-jahr, that is al-hams. Al-hams for letter ta. So whenever that is a letter is said to be voiceless, that is al-hams, is said to be voiceless if there is free passage of hair stream. If there is free passage of the hair stream, the hair will start from your lungs to the letter that you want to pronounce, right? To its articulation point. So in this case, if letter ta is having sakin, you are still going to hear the sound. For example, we have but it's a weak attribute, right? But let's assume, since we have different letters for al-hams, so let's see whether this paper will move for letter ha. So for letter ha, if it is having sakin, you say mah, mah, mah. You can see the paper is moving. Mah, mah, mah. The hair stream C, but it has a free passage, right? So the sound still exists, and the hair, you can see mah, dina siratal mustaqim, right? So also we have different letters. We have letter fa, you say qad af, F. You are still hearing the F sound emanating from the articulation point of letter Fa. That is why we say قَدْ right? قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. So that is that for that. And letter Ta is have another attribute which is the ashidda. So that is that. So whenever you come across this type of rule, as in ma'abattum, that is a letter, they are from the same articulation point, and both has a second. So the second one is going to suppress the first one, even if it is a letter of color. You understand? So we have different examples in the glorious Quran, but this is the simplest one. So with this, we've come to the end of today's class, and the rule that we've identified within this place is idghamul mutajanisain. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.